Good day, Philippines, and welcome to Trendline PH, the show that asks the questions everyone is thinking, but politicians wish we'd stop asking. Today's question: how did the Senate end up like this? And perhaps more importantly, where exactly did we go wrong? Because lately, it feels less like we're watching the Senate of the Republic and more like we're binge-watching a political soap opera with unlimited seasons. We've got walkouts, arrest warrants, impeachment math, leadership battles, rule changes, factional warfare, and politicians acting offended when the law suddenly remembers they exist. But here's the thing: none of this happened overnight. This political casserole has been baking for decades.
The truth is, today's Senate drama isn't really about a few senators behaving badly. It's the result of a system that has been running on questionable wiring for a very long time. Political dynasties create power. Power creates entitlement. Entitlement creates impunity. Impunity weakens institutions. Weak institutions make dynasties even stronger, and then the cycle starts all over again. It's basically a political treadmill powered by taxpayer money.
Let's talk about dynasties. In many countries, democracy means competition. In the Philippines, democracy sometimes feels like a family business with a public listing. The Constitution warned us about political dynasties decades ago. The problem? The people who were supposed to pass the anti-dynasty law often belong to dynasties themselves. It's like asking mosquitoes to pass anti-mosquito legislation. The odds were never great. And because political names have become brands, elections often feel less like job interviews and more like product recalls. Familiar surname? Approved. Television celebrity? Approved. Movie star? Approved. Influencer? Approved. Policy expertise? We'll get back to you. Maybe.
Then there's the issue of accountability. Some politicians have survived so many controversies that they've developed political superpowers. A scandal happens, a case gets filed, an investigation begins, and somehow the response isn't embarrassment, it's outrage. They look at the allegations and say, "How dare you accuse me?" Instead of, "Maybe I should explain this." At some point, accountability stopped being a responsibility and became a personal insult. And have you noticed that every political fight somehow becomes a battle over numbers? Who's absent? Who's present? Who's voting? Who's walking out? Who's switching sides? At this point, the Senate resembles a giant group project where everyone is arguing over attendance sheets.
But before we blame voters for everything, let's be fair. Many Filipinos aren't voting in ideal circumstances. When people need medical assistance, school support, job referrals, or emergency help just to get through the month, patronage politics becomes powerful, not because it's right, because survival comes first. It's hard to think about democratic theory when you're trying to pay hospital bills.
Then there's celebrity politics. Some elections feel like the country's biggest talent competition. Name recognition often beats competence. Fame beats expertise. Catchphrases beat policy. And sometimes anger gets mistaken for leadership. The result? Complicated constitutional issues get reduced to sound bites. National crises become social media content. And governance becomes performance art.
What we're seeing today isn't just Senate drama. It's a national audit. An audit of our political culture. An audit of dynasties. An audit of political parties. An audit of institutions. And yes, an audit of ourselves. Because every election is a report card, not just for politicians, but for the entire system. The good news? More Filipinos are paying attention. People are asking harder questions. Not, who's the loudest? Not, who's trending? But, who's actually qualified? Who's accountable? Who's treating public office as a public trust rather than a family heirloom?
At the end of the day, the Senate is supposed to be a shield for the people, a place where laws are debated, power is checked, and accountability matters. But when institutions become too focused on protecting insiders, that shield can start looking more like a shelter for the powerful. And that's why the real question isn't just what happens in the Senate today. The real question is what happens in the next election. Because if we keep rewarding the same behavior, we shouldn't be surprised when we get the same results.
This is Trendline PH, where we follow the headlines, question the narratives, and occasionally wonder whether Philippine politics should come with a laugh track. See you in the next trend line.